every culture has their own version of a donut, including South Africa. Warren Mendes is here to show us his version because you are my favourite South African chef.
Yes, I love that intro when you call me your favourite chef.
You are, you are.
And so South Africa actually have a few. They have the koesister and the koesister.
Right.
So the koesister is the platted version of a donut, which is an Afrikaans recipe, and we're doing the koesister, which is a Cape Malay version. So it's a spiced, very kind of Malay-influenced donut. So we're making a very simple dough. So we are doing a yeasted dough, so there's a little bit more work, but it's actually not really complicated. You just got to have a bit more time.
Yes.
So we've got some yeast here, which is activated in some milk, a little bit of sugar.
And the milk was warm. You don't want it to be cold and you don't want it to be hot, just in that middle section.
Yeah, kind of like the temperature you'd put a baby in a bath.
Exactly.
And so what we're going to go in, I plonk all the ingredients at the same time. It's easy to use a machine to knead everything together, but you can do it by hand as well. So flour, we'll go in with that milk mixture.
Yep. In it goes. Okay.
And then sugar and some butter.
All right. Any salt required for this?
Definitely always salt. Whenever we do sweet, a little pinch of salt. Everything needs balance in life.
Pinch of salt.
Okay, so we've got a lot of spice here. So we've got some ground aniseed, ground cardamom, ground ginger, and cinnamon. So we're not holding back. It's going to be a lot of flavour. There's a lot of sweet happening, so it almost can withstand all of that. So all of those go in jars.
In they go.
And then 1 egg. Let's see if I can crack it without getting some shell in there.
No shell.
No shell. And if you get a bit of shell, who cares? It's okay.
No
and
shell.
now we can knead that until we get a nice, beautiful dough.
Fantastic.
So that dough is beautiful and smooth, got a nice gloss to it.
Yes.
So we'll let it rise for an hour. So if you can just cover that juzz.
Yes, I can.
And then what's going to happen is the dough's going to relax because we've done all that kneading, all that gluten's been developed. We're going to let it relax and also rise so we get a beautiful puffy donut.
And we do want to leave this in a warm spot, don't we?
Exactly, warm spots. If you've got a very cold kitchen, somewhere near the oven or, you know, near the warm bath or the shower or something.
Sure,
Weird,
why
but
not?
yeah.
That actually does work.
It does work. And then what's going to happen after an hour? Really puffed up. So just got to knock it back. So get your hand in there. And that's the best feeling. It's so light and fluffy. Get that all in there. And now we've got some extra flour.
Sure.
And both of us together, we're going to using about a heaped tablespoon each.
Right.
If we can just start to form some of those perfect kind of little donuts. So if you take about that much, and then if you need a bit more flour so you don't have sticky hands, you might need some. Just kind of vigorously form perfect little ball.
Fantastic. And so how long do we allow this to sit here for?
This is only about 15 minutes, so a little bit of a puff because the rest of the puff will happen in the oil. So
Gotcha.
let's get to work rolling. So you can see, Juz, after just 15 minutes, these donuts are beautiful and puffy. So now you need to be really gentle. And we're doing a kind of a two-stage cook here. So we're going to fry them in oil to get them beautiful and golden. And then to get them sweetened up, we're going to fry them, or not kind of fry them, but really let them soak in a sugar syrup as well. So
beautiful.
first stage, carefully into the oil.
How hot's that oil?
About anywhere between 160 to 180. You don't want it to get higher than that because they'll just burn.
Yep.
And let's not do too many. Let's do about, 4 or 5 a batch at a time because you don't want that oil temp to drop and then it'll become, too cold and it'll just become very soggy.
Right.
And now the trick is get them nice and golden and then we'll flip them over and let them become golden on the other side. But while they're doing their thing in that little jacuzzi of oil, so we'll just get on with the sugar syrup. So very simple sugar syrup. 3 cups of sugar. It's a lot, but we need them all to soak in there.
Yeah.
So decent amount of sugar, equal amount of water. And here, traditionally, in a koesister, you use dried mandarin or dried oranges.
Can I have a smell
so
of that?
have a smell of that. It's really concentrated mandarin flavour. But if you can't find these, just use some apricot skin or some orange skin, and it's going to give you that really nice bit of fragrance. Let that dissolve.
I mean, there's no reason why you can't use orange zest in that too.
No,
That'd be
exactly.
nice.
And kind of it makes it your own, but just traditionally you use this mandarin. So I'm going to follow the traditional koesister method.
Okay. Do
And
the
do it.
traditional.
Well, when I ate the koesisters for the first time, they were just so beautiful when I had them in Workup, which is a section of Cape Town.
Yeah.
And they were so amazing that I was like, I can't stray from this recipe too much. I'm going to
Okay.
be traditional. And you can see, now just give them a little shove, flip them over.
Ooh.
And you'll notice they are quite dark golden, and that's because you've got all that spice in there, so
course.
especially that cinnamon. Whoops.
Yep. Look at
them bobbing around. And then as soon as that other side's had a couple of minutes, we'll drain them and then we can go into the sugar syrup.
Okay.
Okay, Jazz, we're ready. So both sides, beautifully brown, dark golden. And we'll give them a quick drain just on a rack.
Right.
Even though that syrup is ready. So see, sugar's totally dissolved and we've got bubbles in there. And then we'll let them cool down just a little bit. Get in with another batch of those donuts. So while these cool down, get in with another batch.
Okay, very careful with the oil. Don't feel like you need to throw it in because you're scared of it. The closer you get, in actual fact, the safer you are.
Yeah, or you could use a spoon or your spider to get them in there safely.
Exactly.
So while those are in there, these guys have cooled down just a little bit. But now, when we get them in here, you can feel that they're quite crunchy.
Oh, yes.
But now when they're going to go into the syrup, they're going to soak in all that beautiful kind of fragrant sugar.
Yeah.
Cook them for a couple minutes aside, and then we'll drain them again. Toss in coconut, and we'll be eating. Okay, Jazz, final stage. Look at that beautiful lacquer they've got of sugar on there.
So sticky.
All you need to do now, give them a toss in some coconut.
Okay, love that.
And there we go, that's done. You could let them cool down. These are still a bit warm, but you know.
You're trying to burn my
we
tongue.
we don't have patience for this.
It's cooled slightly.
Tell me what you think. Your first ever koesister.
I love the spices in that. And this dough is something else. I have tried a lot of donuts, and I tell you what, this one is one of the best.
South African donuts win, don't they?
So do.